Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right-hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Everything going well, yeah. I'm here with my son. He's not in bed yet, so you might hear him talk in between a bit. Okay.
Oh, that's quite all right. And thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Yes. Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh.
Thank you for being patient.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, again, thank you very much for taking the time to be able to do this. It's a tremendous honor to be able to talk to you. And, of course, being able to talk about such a very cool release that's coming up from Epica this coming Friday through Nuclear Blast. Your Epica's take on some songs from Attack on Titan. That's a really cool thing to be able to talk about.
Yeah, it's also a very unusual thing for us to have done, this a little bit out of our comfort zone, but we're super pleased with the end result.
So, of course, with this EP, it was originally released over in Japan at the end of last year, and it's now getting a full release now. How does it feel to actually get this getting released worldwide now?
It's cool because I first thought it was more like only a thing for in Japan, but there's so many, admirers of this genre worldwide. And also, especially amongst the metal scene. So I think it's pretty amazing that we now get to share this with everybody. And the metal fans, they're collectors. So even though they might have heard it already on YouTube, they still want to have the physical or original product.
So in speaking of that, how did this whole idea come to be?
Well, I was included a little bit later in the whole thing because I think our manager contacted the band and said we have this option to do this as the composer from these songs from Linked Horizon is actually an Epica fan and he wanted us to do the cover tracks. So we were contacted and thought, okay, it's cool. I first had to check out what is Attack on Titan because it's not really something that I'm not into manga or anime, or I don't know much about it. I think it's cool, but it was new to me. We heard that this was an option to do the cover tracks, and first I had to do some research to see what it is about, and then Kun, our keyboarder, he's like, "You don't know this? It's huge in Japan." I'm like, "Sorry, no, I'll check it out." And I really liked the songs. But my first concern was, how am I going to sing in Japanese? I don't think I can get the pronunciation right. But then we were told it would be translated into English for us to then rewrite the lyrics. And then I was reassured that I didn't have to sing in Japanese because I don't think I would have done a good job. But yeah, so the composer from Linked Horizon wanted us to do the cover tracks, and who exactly, I don't know. But yeah, and we were in Japan the first time. It was 2017, and we saw commercials out on the buildings. They have these huge LED screens, and it was with Attack on Titan, and I thought that's so cool because then, of course, when you're in Japan, you see it a lot everywhere, and it was we're not that big in Japan, but still we got to do this job, and it was also quite an honor to do this.
Yeah, and it is really cool to be able to see that. I mean, I'm also not as familiar with manga and anime and stuff like that, but I'm familiar with a lot of the themes that are going on there because they usually tend to be quite heavy, whether it's in rock or metal form. So it's always cool to be able to hear those themes and being able to hear your take on it. I mean, being able to see what Epica was able to do with these versions of these songs and everything on there. I mean, it feels like such a natural combination that I never would have imagined.
Yeah, it kind of completes each other. The original songs are a little bit faster than the ones that we did because it was just for us almost impossible to play him or sing him that fast. the original songs were much faster, and we slowed them down, with the exception of the ballad. Very nice. And we did the whole production like how we would do Epica City as well. So we worked with the same producer, went to the studio, worked with orchestra and choir, and did the whole package we would normally do for Epica City, because we wanted to take it serious, and not do it just quickly. And we really wanted to come up with a great quality product.
And with that, I mean, obviously, with not being as familiar with Attack on Titan, and of course, getting to know that you get to sing these songs in English rather than in Japanese, how long did it take you to start to feel comfortable with being able to come up with your vocal parts for this release?
Well, we first, Joost and I, I have to give my son a little book while asleep. Ich muss ja noch mein Interview machen, Plätzchen. Ja, guck mal. Kannst du da ein bisschen gucken. Ich lese dir nachher dann vor, okay? Ich muss das kurz fertig machen. Ja? Okay. When I was in South America with Epica, then Joost, the producer, and I, we went through the songs to first see if the key was like a good key for me to sing in, so that I could use, the best side of my voice. And so we matched the songs to the perfect key for me to sing in. And after that, we were then rewriting the lyrics to record demo tracks for us to practice on before the actual recordings, and also to send to Japan for approval to see if they liked what we did. And it's the same thing with the music as well. Isaac and Mark rewrote the guitars, Koen did the arrangements and the choir. He added little secret Epica parts, or integrated it in the songs to give it even more an Epica touch. And we did all this in between touring and while being on tour, because nowadays we have our laptops with us. So we were writing lyrics in Colombia, overlooking the square, sitting in the backstage, getting ready for the Epica show, but also at the same time having the Attack on Titan lyrics in my head.
And how is that for you? I mean, being able to have that kind of technology to be able to work on a special release like that while still being on tour?
It's cool because, inspiration comes at any time of the day, not just when you sit down at your desk. Sometimes mostly it will never come there. It will always come at the strangest moments. Also what everybody has right before you fall asleep. You have genius ideas that you then record, and you wake up the next morning and they're not so genius, but or you're dreaming a melody and you wake up and you want to record it, or you have a great line, lyric in your head. So I always make sure that I have my phone and computer with me for me to write down or record ideas, because inspiration, it's everywhere and can come at any time of the day.
Oh, absolutely. So, also with that in mind, I mean, with the release being out for quite a while now through Japan, and of course coming out this Friday through Nuclear Blast, how are you looking back at this release now in hindsight?
Well, we played already the songs when we went to Japan earlier this year. We did many interviews and we got so many positive feedback. And I at first, because I didn't know Attack on Titan, and the music, I really had fallen in love with the songs. I was very proud of the end result of the band, and my vocal performance is the best so far. I've learned a lot.
Before we wrap things up here, I'll let you get into it, but before we're done, what's coming up next for Epica? We have the summer festivals. I have still a couple days off now until we go to Hungary, we go to Slovenia and Italy. We have huge German festival, Wacken Open Air. So we have about 9 festivals left. And another big project where we are working on now is the Essence of Epica, which is going to be like a autobiography from Epica, about Epica through our own eyes. Everybody will spill juicy details. Kan je even wachten? Abrufen besteht nicht.
and then we'll take some time off from touring to, be inspired again, recharge our batteries, and start writing a new CD, but without a deadline. We want to take a little bit more time off than what we normally would do, because we've been basically releasing CDs every 2.5 years and touring in between, and it's been quite a heavy schedule. So we're looking forward to some time off and writing Epica number 8.
Yeah, and that's definitely a great approach, and it's great to see that too. Just making sure that the inspiration's going to be there, making sure that you're going to be able to write the best songs possible. That way, when the new album is ready to be able to be toured behind and be able to get out there for the whole fan base, it's going to be the best material that you can possibly make.
We hope so. We will do our very best. We always do.